So, Prophet EJ, Prophet Lovy, how do we get here? How do two amazing brothers who have been in the spotlight and loved each other in the spotlight end up here? Right? You probably asking this question, and you probably have seen everything going on online, and you asking yourself that question. Hence this video, man. But before we get into that, let's take it a little bit back and talk about how these guys have known each other for almost 10 years. Well, as far as we know, as far as we have gathered from the information, these guys didn't just come up. It's not like Prophet Lovy just took someone from the random and bam, here's EJ, everyone. No, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. So what really happened? These guys have been staying together, right? As far as mentorship has been concerned, I would only assume, I'm not saying this is the everything, I'm just saying I assume from what the information, from what Prophet EJ would talk about in his sermons, that he was being mentored. But when you gather information, you find out they have known each other since 2015. So you can assume that when they met, Prophet Lovy was mentoring him. That's hence he ends up bringing him to the spotlight. I think you would only assume that, okay, he's thinking, Prophet EJ, he's ready now, right? Because quite frankly, before Prophet Lovy introduces the man to us, I didn't know who he was. So how do we get here after all this? I am listening to the podcast in which Prophet EJ goes on to expose Prophet Lovy, and I find out that it wasn't easy for him to get into the spotlight, right? Why? Because of the spiritual father of Prophet Lovy, who is this amazing prophet, Prophet Passion from Zimbabwe. And I learned, when you watch that, you only conclude that Prophet Passion initially thought it was a bad idea to bring Prophet EJ in. So it was difficult until what Prophet EJ claimed, he started making rounds online and he started making prophetic classes and all these things that made the prophets start trusting him more and bring him to the spotlight, right? But how does, after all that, after being put to the spotlight, after being made a millionaire, after being made all these amazing things that were testimonies at a particular point, how does one end up code switching like he did? Okay, so this was not the first time that Prophet EJ came out. And if you're watching what he did with Ezekiel, if you're watching what he did with Abednego, it wasn't the first time Prophet EJ came out and said all he said. Matter of fact, this was the second attack. What a break. Okay, let's get back in. So initially, the first attack came in 2024 around October-ish, right? That's when Prophet EJ initially came out and said, look, that's a warlock, right? And the reason why this had so much impact, you need to understand, this was not Prophet Lovy's first rodeo. He had been around as far as the streets of being exposed were concerned, right? We had a lot of big pastors come after him. We had the likes of Pastor Greg Locke. We had the likes of even internet sensations. I'm being sarcastic, but even Celestial came after him, right? And everyone was calling him names. He's a witch, he's a warlock, he's a this, he's a that. Everyone was calling him names. But what made this attack very significant was the fact that, like, look, these have been brothers who have been walking together for more than 5 years. So maybe EJ is right. That's what made this particular attack have so much impact on the ministry. However, you would assume the moment Prophet Lovy hears all these things, EJ starts code switching, everything that EJ is now saying, you would assume Prophet Lovy would respond, right? Right? And defend himself? No, he did not. He was quiet. However, now, EJ starts saying, look, I've seen satanic rituals. I've seen him perform weird things. I've seen him do all this. I've seen him do all that. This is the first attack, by the way. Internet goes insane. Internet goes wild. Internet goes wild off this. Again, this is the first attack. Bear in mind, this is the first attack over the thing. Now, here's what EJ does. He goes on 100-day fast, right? The reason I'm mentioning the 100-day fast is because it's very important to the story that's going to make sense over the second attack. He goes on a 100-day fast. And in this 100-day fast, every day he's coming out and he's talking about exposing witchcraft in the church. Exposing witchcraft this, exposing witchcraft that. All of us do know, though, that we are talking about Prophet Lovy. Why? Because he came out straight initially, right? And then, while everything is happening, EJ comes out and claims that I'm being attacked. I am praying for the safety of my family. Please pray for the safety of my family. Please pray for the safety of my kids. They're taking my kids away from me. They're working with my ex-wife. They're doing this. They're doing that. They want to get me arrested. Why? Because I'm doing all this. Do we know all these to be true? So far, no one can confirm this. But EJ is claiming that these things are happening, right? So it's only right for him to keep talking, right? Are you following so far? It's only right for him to keep talking and keep talking smack about whatever this witch Prophet Lovy is doing. All through this period, Prophet Lovy is quiet. Now, here months go by. He is now selling a book that immediately, though, he had released just after the exposed videos. He has been selling his book while he is on this 100-day fasting. He's selling his book. But again, everything doesn't seem to be adding up because people seem to have moved on quick already. People from EJ are seeing his numbers are deteriorating. But Prophet Lovy, his numbers are not really shaking. Yes, granted, they took a hit initially, but his live streams, everything seems to be going well. So what happens now? Here's the second attack. By the way, I'm skipping a lot of details. I just want you guys to catch up. Okay, water break. I'm sorry, y'all. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to give you the tea, right? I'm sorry. This is not a platform, but I just want you guys to catch up and know what is happening. So fast forward, EJ selling his book. Whether the book is selling or it's not, here's his idea. Let's do an attack, a second attack. So what happens? There comes out a girl, a lady, who claims that she was dating the Prophet Lovy. She was dating the Prophet Lovy, right? They were in a relationship. They were sometimes sexual. At least once she mentions that we were one time sexual, but he used me because he ends up marrying the prophetess, the man of God, prophetess Maggie, right? That's how she put it across. Only for us to discover that this girl, who we gonna name, let me just name the name because she's already out. Her name was Gigi. Only to discover that Gigi apparently knew Prophet EJ. And every time that Gigi was doing the video, right? And we even did a video on the video that Gigi had exposed, right? So every time that Gigi was doing a video, she was going to mention that even EJ knows. Huh? What does EJ have to do with all this, right? Because this girl needed verification. She needed somewhere to sit on when everything goes south. That's why she kept saying, even EJ knows. So what happens now is this is the perfect time. Whether or not EJ sent this girl, we do not know. It's not yet verified, right? And this whole time, Prophet Lovy, you guess what he's doing? He's quiet. He's very quiet. Matter of fact, it's dead crickets over there. He's not talking about this. All he's doing is preaching the gospel. All he is doing is sharing the gospel. That's all the prophet is doing at this particular point. And the internet is going wild. Everyone is saying, look, we told you about this man. You need to stop going to his church. Why? Really, why? Most of you guys, most of the exposed ministers gained relevance in this particular period, right? Because a lot of people already don't like the prophets, right? Why? Because they're always flashing their clothes. They're always flashing their cars. They're always doing this. They're always doing that. So we don't like the prophets. At least they already had given a narrative about them, right? So all these particular individuals, they find a way to come after Prophet Lovy. Right? But also remember from what I had said initially that Prophet Passion he did not want Prophet EJ in initially, right? Because this is what Prophet EJ had said in his video with Ezekiel. He said, Prophet Passion did not let me in until, you heard it right, the days of the red suits. I'll try to post the picture somewhere. The day of the red suits. That's when Prophet Passion was now starting to give me the mic. So Prophet Lovy had now started ushering me in. However, Prophet EJ Newton starts claiming that some of the prophetic words that were being released and being uttered by the men of God, Prophet Lovy, at that particular time were false. All these things were happened just soon after the DGG podcast, whatever you want to call it, that vlog came out. And all the claims. So only to discover, in my mind, at least, I'm not saying this is true or false, only for me to discover that Gigi was a porn. Initially, it was supposed to be for shock value. And then Prophet EJ comes out and drops a bomb on the Ezekiel podcast. He starts talking about, oh man, we would go to Ghana and I would get funny stuff. We would hear demons. That demon, he called him King Jaffa. This is not an angel, this is a demon. This is Prophet EJ saying all this on this particular podcast. This is Prophet EJ saying all this. He walks with demons. He's a witchcraft. He practices and he has this spiritual father. This spiritual father there. We had this, that. Mind you, while he's saying that, he ends up slipping up and he starts talking about how he was drinking while on those 100-day fasts. Right? Remember those 100-day fasts in which he started selling his book? After he'd come out and attacked Prophet Lovy, it slips up. It starts talking about how he drank and did But for it to make impact, for his story to make impact, he has to talk about how he had impregnated a girl. Right? Because he was on the sex rampage. But why was he on the sex rampage? Because he was depressed. He was depressed. So we're supposed to excuse all of that. Right? We're supposed to not care why he was on the sex rampage. But that's not even the reason for him telling this story. The reason for him telling this story is because he had a punchline to it. What was the punchline? The punchline was, listen to this. The punchline was him claiming that this particular spiritual father that Prophet Lovy introduced him to was a warlock. So if he was a warlock, when he told this particular person that, oh, I've impregnated my girl, this is the end of my ministry, guess what this father does? He does some spells over in Ghana, and this girl who Prophet EJ had impregnated at the time ends up having a miscarriage. Right? So now the reason for that story was, okay, Prophet Lovy has impregnated a few more girls, and he does this every single time. He does this to all these girls. Why? So that he impregnates them, that he takes away the babies spiritually, supposedly. Why? Because of powers. He also claimed in the second bomb, the second attack, he also claims that there was a time Prophet Lovy, now remember that girl that we were talking about earlier, the Gigi girl? There was a time Prophet Lovy and Prophet EJ were going to a meeting at Prophet EJ's church, and Prophet EJ went to the hotel and took Prophet Lovy. While at that hotel, he saw Gigi, who we said was a pawn initially. Remember, who we said was a pawn in all of this. He saw the girl, and Prophet Lovy at the time allegedly slept with this girl. So now they go to the meeting, and he cannot sleep, he cannot prophesy. He starts asking Prophet EJ, yo, what do I say about these people? So Prophet EJ starts saying that he would give him prophecies, right? Long story short, this whole thing at this particular point, it sounds so good. It sounds so calculated, crazily calculated, right? So now, guess what Prophet Lovy, after all of this thing is happening, guess what Prophet Lovy is doing? You guessed it right. He's not saying thing. He's quiet. It's crickets over his camp. He's still doing God's work. He's still, what a man, bro. What a man. Inspirational stuff, right? Exactly. Now, this is where it all gets funny, because for me, I didn't want to come out and show my face like this. I don't want to come out and show my face. Everyone is attacking the prophet. Everyone is coming after the prophet. But this is where everything starts getting iffy for me. When Prophet EJ comes out and says, look, I have a $40 book that talks about exposing the prophets, the false prophets in the church. That's when I'm like, wait, this is not adding up. This guy is doing it for ministry, or he's trying to sell his book. I tell her this particular point. That's when everything starts looking iffy for me, right? So that's when I start doing the exposure videos. At this particular point, Prophet Lovy is still quiet. Will he still remain quiet? Probably not. Maybe not. I think the best move for him is to come out and clap back. But even if he doesn't, bro, everything that was supposed to bring him down seemed to have blown him up even further. So let me know in the comment section if I should do a part 2 to this video, how we got here, because now we are here and we are still waiting for Prophet Lovy to respond. And will he respond? I think he will. And when he does, I think it's going to be a father teaching his son a lesson. And it's going to be crazy. Y'all are going to speak about it. It's going to be the talk of the internet. It's going to be wild. I promise you this. But for now, we just know that Prophet Lovy has been quiet. Why? Because everything has been coordinated. But it's only wise if he ends up responding, you know the man is a genius. Right? So which side am I on? Personally, I'm on the side of the gospel. Right? What does the gospel say? Whether out of contention, whether out of envy, whether out of strife, as long as Christ is preached, I'm for that side. So I'm siding for both parties right now, to be honest. Do I think Prophet Lovy is a warlock? No. 1,000% no. Do I think Prophet EJ is a warlock? No. Do I think he's satanic? No. I think he's just someone who's acting out of wisdom and ended up in this particular situation. If you ask me, I think he's going to regret everything that just happened. I think he's going to regret everything I think he's going to regret everything that just happened, if you ask me. But hey, who knows? Let's just see, right?